Welcome to Chalk Talk with Jerry Hanlon. I'm John Borton, and this is the coach, Jerry Hanlon, who coached them all from, Dan Deerdorf through Doug Skeen, for that matter. Coach, it's good to have you back with us.
Well, it's nice to be here, John.
Let's talk about what Brady Hoke was talking this week. He made a point when he was discussing all the offensive line situations that we're not getting enough push, we're not getting the attack that I want at the point of attack, and he went beyond that to say that even sometimes when we are, people are cutting in from the backside and blowing up plays, and just wanted to have you talk about those kinds of situations and what you see right now up in the Michigan offensive line, and how you can counter those things and fix them, really.
Well, there's a number of things, John, that's happening up front, and it depends upon the defense that you're looking at, but I'll try to give you a little idea of some of the things that are happening, particularly since they aren't having success running the football, and the biggest thing is that they're committing an awful lot of people up front. I'll give you a little idea here. If they just had a normal defense, such as you see right here, where you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 men on the line of scrimmage, then you have a good opportunity because you can put a man on man and get the blocking done, or at least run away from one of them and still have an opportunity to block. But what happens in a lot of situations, one of these safeties is moving down and he's becoming an extra man in the defense. Whether they shift the defense and put him in there, but anyway, they're bringing up, and you end up with 8 men somewhere in the neighborhood of the line of scrimmage like this, and it makes it a whole lot tougher to try to run the football. That's one of the things that's happening. So in order to take care of that, you've got to make sure that he has to say, uh-oh, if I go up there, I'm going to maybe throw the ball over my head. So if he moves up, you can throw passes and things of that nature. But the 8 men in the box is one of the problems that they're having. The other thing that they're having problems with is that in order to run the ball at a point of attack, you must be able to get movement. And one of the things that's happening is, let's say that we're running the power play to the right here. In this particular situation, we can have our tight end blocked there, or we're sometimes flipping the tackle over, so you've got 2 tackles to one side to get the push at that position. Now, what happens is that if you pull the backside guard to get him to the point of attack, you got to make sure you block this man. Last week we were running this play to the left and we pulled, but the center led and allowed that man to run right through into the backfield. So you can't have missed assignments of that sort in order to get it done. So what you normally can do is you would block back. Now these 2 have to block those 2. And when you have that happen now, you've got to make sure that if you're going to run outside, that as he comes down the block, then this man has to be able to control him. So he's got to get his head in the middle to get the movement so that he can push and then come off and seal the inside of the hole. The problem we're having is this man is splitting the 2 of them, and so the 2 of them are not getting any push at that point of attack. The inside blocker, if you're going outside, must get his head in the middle and get the movement, and then he has the ability to come off. So that's one of the problems they have, is not getting proper push because nobody's putting their head in the middle of the defender. Now when you get that, one of the problems that you're having is when he pulls, and if they don't, then you end up with these 2 blocking him. You now have 2 linebackers in the hole. And what has happened is our fullback has led and he's pulled, and they both blocked one and allowed the backside linebacker to run free. And that can happen on occasion. So it's understanding who you're going to block, then get in a proper position to get the block done. And so that's one of the problems that they've been having. The other thing is you have this same situation, and all of a sudden this man shifts over and plays head up, and he slides a little bit, and here comes that safety man up. And so now the safety, you try to run, and you've got everybody blocked, but nobody to block him, so at the last minute he's coming up and making plays at the line of scrimmage. So it's causing them a lot of problems from the standpoint of not being able to get the proper, pick the man you're gonna block, and then get in position to make sure you can secure him. But the most important thing is that we get push at the point of attack, like Brady's saying. And the way you do that is one of them has got to say, I'm blocking him, I'm gonna help you, and then I'm gonna go off on the next guy, but I'm gonna block him. And if nobody takes over that, then you have two getting hung up on one, you don't get off, or you get penetration at that point of attack. So that's one of the problems they're having. The other thing is we know very well that when you try to run an isolation play, that you must block one-on-one. So if I'm running an isolation play where we're gonna double here and put him right here so that we would block this fashion, now we're not gonna, now when these two again have to execute that very same thing that we talked about. One of them has to take that guy, the other's gotta help him and then come off late. And so what's happening is, when you do this, we're running the isolation play, but because these guys aren't concerned much about the quarterback or because they start to slide, and so when you move this way and this guy comes and you get him blocked, but he comes flying in from the backside and you're getting it filled from the backside linebacker. They're so overcommitted to the first down run that they're having problems now of filling off the backside. So it's really something that you want to look for out there, but the most to get. Know who you're going to block and then get in position to get him blocked.
When you see something like this, what is then the counter to that?
Well, that's when you can your play action pass, because if he's flying, you bring your tight end across the formation with a fake like this, he could block the end, he comes through and blocks the linebacker, and then there's nobody there, you hit a tight end on a crossing pattern from the backside, you can do something like that. But the basic idea is that if you're blocking properly here, that if you're coming off, you can still get him blocked, but you can't all get too tied up on one. You have to have one of the guys take the point of attack and the other pick him off. And so the problem is, as I said, sometimes, and then of course the biggest problem we're having again is with our zone blocking. And when you zone block, this man is going to try to reach there. This man is going to try to reach there. And this man says, I'm going to go there. But as soon as you do that, then you put him in a bind because you've got that type of a situation on the backside. So on your zone blocking, you've got to make sure that you've got good blocking angles before you run that zone play. In this particular situation, I would not like to have to teach that kid to block that man, because it's pretty difficult to do, particularly when he vacates to go to there. So the problems you got to have is to make sure that you've got good blocking angles on your zone play. And that, again, if you're going to zone block and you have to double, you want to make sure that if you're going outside, the inside blocker takes the down man, the outside blocker helps and goes off. If you're running an inside play, then the outside blocker takes the down man and the inside linebacker, the blocker comes off. So those are just some basic things that I've noticed, and it sounds very simple here on the blackboard, but when they stem the defense right at the last minute and they penetrate one time and place off the next time, all these things are factors that make it a little more difficult than it looks here when I draw it up.
And you're still coaching these kids in your head on game day, aren't you?
I try, John. I can't get away from it. I feel for them right now. They're not playing very well, but I know that they work hard at it, and it's not a simple thing to do. So I just look for them to get better and get tougher.
Okay, well, we'll see where that goes in the next few weeks, and we'll be talking about it right here on the next edition of Chalk Talk with Jerry Hanlon.
Well, I look forward to it, John.